during a family vacation. My parents told me to give up my hotel room because my brother needed it more. I smiled and said, "That's nice, but I have a better plan." Their faces dropped when the hotel staff told them the news. I still remember the moment clearly, my mom's shocked face, my dad's confused blinking, and my brother's smug smile disappearing so fast it was almost funny. Almost. But let me explain how it got to this point. Growing up, my younger brother Ryan was the favorite. Actually, he was the only child in my parents' eyes. I was just there, the backup, the babysitter, the one who always had to give up things for him. If Ryan wanted something, he got it. If I wanted something, they'd say, "We'll see," which really meant no. I learned early that life wasn't fair in our house. If I ever complained, I was called selfish or difficult. I got tired of fighting for scraps, so I stopped trying. I planned my escape, and as soon as I turned 18, I left. I worked hard to build a life away from them, no calls, no family holidays, no drama, just peace, until last year. I don't know why, but after years of barely talking to them, I agreed to a family vacation. Maybe I was feeling nostalgic, maybe I thought they'd changed, maybe I was just being dumb. The plan was a week at a fancy beach resort in Maui with my parents, Ryan, his girlfriend, and me. I paid for my own flight and even treated myself to a beautiful private room with an ocean view. It wasn't a regular hotel room, it was a fancy suite with a balcony. Expensive? Yes. Worth it? Absolutely. I was really excited, but that excitement lasted only 4 hours. We arrived and checked in. I was so happy, standing on my balcony, watching the waves. Then there was a knock at my door. It was my mom, wearing her usual fake smile. "Hey, sweetie," she said in her overly sweet voice. "Can we talk for a second?" I should have known what was coming. She stepped inside and closed the door like she was about to drop some big news. "So, Ryan's room isn't as nice as yours," she started carefully, as if I wouldn't see where this was going. "He's having a hard time in there. You know how he gets anxious in small spaces, and his girlfriend is with him, so it's a little cramped." I just stared at her. I was thinking, she continued, "Maybe you could switch rooms with him for the trip. It would mean so much to him." I laughed. "You're joking, right?" Her face got serious. "Don't be like that. He needs the space more than you do. You're alone. You don't need all this." I felt that old, familiar feeling, the expectation that I should give in, be the bigger person, be reasonable, but not this time. I smiled and said, "That's cute, but I have a better plan." She looked confused. "What do you mean?" I grabbed my phone, pulled up my reservation, and showed it to her. "See this? It's my reservation, paid for under my name. That means I decide who stays here, and I choose me." Her mouth opened and closed like a fish. "But he's your brother. Family helps each other." I nodded slowly. "Yeah, they do. But you never helped me, ever. So I guess that rule only applied to me, huh?" She started to argue, but I wasn't done. "You and Dad never cared when I struggled. I worked 3 jobs in college. But Ryan? You paid for his tuition, his apartment, his car. I was eating ramen while you sent him on vacations." She looked away, knowing it was true. "You're 30 now," she said, trying to take control. "You should be over this." I laughed. "Over what? The fact that you only call when you need something? That I'm only family when it's convenient for you?" She huffed. "You're being dramatic." "Am I? Let's test that." I opened the door wide and pointed for her to leave. She stared at me like I was crazy. "You're really saying no?" "I'm really saying no." Her face turned angry. "Fine, I'll talk to your father. Go ahead," I said, smiling, and shut the door in her face. I knew she wasn't done. 15 minutes later, there was another knock. This time, it was my dad. I didn't let him start. "Let me guess," I said. "Mom sent you." "Son, let's be reasonable," he said. I held up my phone. "Want to see the reservation again?" "That's not the point," he said. "Then what is the point?" I asked. "Because it seems like the point is, Ryan wants something. So let's take it from me." He frowned. "He's your brother. You should be willing to." I laughed. "Finish that sentence." "I should be willing to what?" He stayed silent. "That's what I thought." I said, "Now, if you don't mind, I have a vacation to enjoy." I shut the door. I barely had time to sit down before the next knock. This time, it was Ryan, and he was mad. He stood in my doorway, arms crossed, trying to look tough. I'd seen this act before. He used it to get his way when we were kids, but I wasn't a kid anymore. "You're being a real jerk, you know that?" he said, pushing past me like he owned the place. I let him walk into my suite, let him see the view, let him imagine himself staying there for the week. Then I said, "You're in my room. You have 10 seconds to leave before I call hotel security. He laughed. Security? Seriously? This is family, man. I smiled. Yeah? Where was family when I needed help? Where was family when I was eating cheap noodles every night? And mom and dad were sending you money for a new gaming PC? He rolled his eyes. Oh my god, are we still talking about college? Not just college, I said. My whole life. He threw his hands up. This is stupid. You don't even need this room. You're alone. I have a girlfriend. Do you know how uncomfortable our room is? That's not my problem, I said. It could be if you weren't such a selfish jerk. I laughed, really laughed. Ryan's jaw tightened. He wasn't used to me standing up to him. You think I'm selfish? I asked, stepping closer. Let's talk about selfish. Who got a car for their 16th birthday? Silence. Who had their college paid for while I took out loans? More silence. Who got vacations and new clothes while I worked nights at a gas station? His face turned dark. Why do you always bring up old stuff? Because you still act like you're owed everything. But guess what? I don't owe you anything. He clenched his fists but didn't say anything. Finally, he smirked. Fine, keep the room. Just remember, you're going to regret this. I asked the hotel staff to repeat what they said. Yes, he said. Your room was switched to another guest. Your name was moved to a standard room with no balcony. I didn't even need to guess who did it. He hesitated. It was your parents who asked for the change. I was furious. Daniel, the staff member, must have seen how angry I looked because he quickly added, "Don't worry, sir, I haven't made the change yet. It seemed strange, so I wanted to check with you first." I took a deep breath to calm down. Good call, Daniel, very good call. I pulled out my phone and showed him my reservation email. I paid for this room. It's under my name. No one else has the right to change it, not my parents, not my brother, no one. Daniel nodded. Understood. I'll make sure your original reservation stays locked. I sighed in relief. Thank you. He hesitated again. Sir, would you like me to flag your account so no one can make changes without your permission? I smiled. Daniel, that's a great idea. I was still angry when I went to my parents' room. I didn't knock, I just slammed the door open. My dad looked annoyed. What's wrong with you? He snapped. You tell me. I shot back. I just found out you tried to steal my room. He didn't even look guilty. It's not stealing. We just made a change. Ryan's room is small. I cut him off. Stop right there. I paid for my room with my money. You had no right to touch my reservation. My mom appeared behind him, sighing like I was being unreasonable. Why are you making such a big deal? It's just a room. Then why didn't Ryan switch rooms? I asked. She frowned. Because his room is already paid for under our account, and yours was separate. It was easier this way. I laughed. You really think I'm that stupid? This isn't about easier. This is about Ryan getting what he wants, like always. My mom crossed her arms. You're being dramatic. My dad huffed. Fine, keep the room, but don't expect us to pay for anything else this trip. I laughed even harder. Pay for me? You haven't paid for anything for me in years, but sure, go ahead and pretend you're punishing me. Meanwhile, I'll be on my balcony, enjoying my ocean view. I turned and walked away before they could say anything. The next few days were tense. Ryan sulked. His girlfriend gave me dirty looks. My parents acted like I had betrayed them, but I didn't care. I spent my days relaxing on the beach, drinking cocktails, and sleeping in the room I paid for. That's exactly what I wanted, I said calmly. Daniel nodded and made a call. Soon, a security guard took us to a small room with monitors. Let's check the footage from last night, Mr. Alvarez, the manager said. The guard rewound the video, and there he was, Ryan, entering my room alone, without a key card. Mr. Alvarez paused the video. How did he get in? I frowned. Good question. The guard rewound further, and we saw it. Ryan was let in by a hotel employee, a short guy in a concierge uniform. He swiped a key card and held the door open for Ryan. My stomach sank. Mr. Alvarez cursed. That's Miguel. He's worked here for 2 years and never had complaints before. Miguel looked guilty. He said it was his room, but his brother, he glanced at me, was holding the key card. He even offered me 100 to let him in. I laughed. Wow, Ryan bribing hotel staff. That's a new low, even for you. Ryan rolled his eyes. Oh, come on, you're making a big deal out of nothing. It was just a little money. A little? I snapped. You stole over 600 from me. My dad turned to Ryan. You did what? Ryan clenched his fists. You don't even need it. That was it. I turned to Mr. Alvarez. I want my money back, now. Mr. Alvarez nodded. Miguel, you're suspended. Ryan, if you don't return the money, we'll call the police. Ryan's smug look disappeared. My mom gasped. You wouldn't. Oh, I would, I said, and since this is a fancy resort, they take security very seriously, so unless you want to explain to a judge why you bribed a hotel employee and stole from your brother, I suggest you pay up. Ryan looked at my parents for help. My dad shook his head. You're on your own, kid. My mom's face turned red. She started to speak, but I cut her off. You taught him to be like this, I said coldly. You always let him take from me, but not this time. Silence. Finally, Ryan pulled out his wallet and threw $400 on the table. I didn't touch it. All of it, I said. He clenched his teeth but pulled out another $200 and slammed it down. I smiled, took the money, and stood up. Pleasure doing business with you. Then I turned to Mr. Alvarez. If my family tries to change my reservation again, I want to be notified right away. Understood, he said, and as an apology, we're upgrading you to a VIP package, free spa access, daily room service, and a free sunset cruise. I grinned. Now that's what I like to hear. My parents sat there in silence as I walked out, leaving them to deal with Ryan. The rest of the trip was great. I relaxed while my family sulked in their basic rooms. I got massages, ate lobster, and enjoyed cocktails on a yacht. Ryan avoided me. My parents were cold but didn't push me further. When we flew home, I blocked their numbers. No more second chances. No more being the afterthought. I wasn't their doormat anymore, and it felt amazing. I thought that was the end of it. I had my money, my VIP treatment, and my family was stuck with their mess. But Ryan wasn't done. A week later, I got a notification from my bank. Ryan had reported the money he gave me as fraud. I laughed. He really thought he could steal from me twice. I called the bank, explained everything, and sent them the security footage, screenshots, and the hotel's report. The bank quickly denied his claim. Ryan lost the dispute, and his account was flagged, which ruined his credit score. Since my parents always bailed him out, I wondered how long it would take before he came crawling back for help. Spoiler, not long. A few months later, I got a call from an unknown number. It was my mom, sounding desperate. Listen, honey, we need to talk. Ryan's in trouble. I rolled my eyes. I didn't call back. 2 hours later, my dad called. I answered. Cut to the chase. I said, what does Ryan want? My dad sighed. It's not just him. He messed up. And now it's affecting us too. I smirked. Oh, do tell. Apparently, after the vacation, Ryan kept using his credit cards. But since the bank flagged his account, they froze his cards and denied his loans. He tried to lease a car, denied. Tried to rent an apartment, denied. His credit score was ruined because of what he did to me. My parents, who had co-signed for him, were now stuck with penalties and higher interest rates. I almost laughed out loud. So let me guess, I said. You need me to help fix this? My dad sighed. It's the least you can do after everything we've done for you. I laughed so hard I had to mute the phone. When I finally spoke, my voice was cold. The least I can do? You stole from me. You tried to take my room. You called me selfish for setting boundaries. And now you want a favor? Silence. Then my dad said, just help your brother. He's family. I grinned. I don't have a brother. Then I hung up. That was the last time I spoke to them. After that, I blocked every number. I ignored every email. They even sent relatives to talk to me, but I blocked them too. Ryan? He fell apart, with no one to bail him out. He couldn't pay his bills, got evicted, and ended up crashing on a friend's couch. My parents had to take on his debt, which ruined them financially. Me? I thrived. I traveled, upgraded my apartment, got a promotion at work, and never looked back.